Welcome to the Groomer next door. You're listening to my mommy and daddy.
But now my main area of expertise is canines. Dogs, to the layperson.
I'm your co-host, Chris Green.
And I'm Sarah Green.
Have a pet-tastic week.
And remember, folks, life is short. Play with your pet.
Okay, gotta go at my bedtime.
And now our feature presentation.
My name is Doug. I have just met you, and I love you. My master made me this collar. He is a good and smart master, and he made me this collar so that I may talk, squirrel.
Hi everybody, and welcome to our third podcast in our series. I am your co-host, Chris Green. Sitting next to me is Sarah.
Hello.
This one is going to be a little cute little episode. It will be a little short one, but it's puppy's first bath and the importance. And why is it so important to give a puppy a bath?
It's important.
At 9 weeks.
It's important to get them started right away so they get used to the whole environment, get used to the sounds, the feeling of the water, the blow drying, the other people handling them, someone new that they've never seen before in their entire life. But right now, as you're doing the pre-rinse on the pup, we have them in what is called a figure 8 harness. And that figure 8 harness helps alleviate any kind of pressure around their throat and pretty much just takes any kind of pressure they would put on themselves by pulling away or trying to get up onto our shoulders or some sort. Pressure is distributed through the body. And this pup is being pretty normal. They're trying to get away. They just want to get up on top of you. Why are you doing this? As you're doing the rinse, or the original rinse, you did a mist.
Yes.
And the mist setting on it's kind of like a garden hose, is just a mist of water.
Yes.
Because you don't want to use too much all at once. So it's a lot of moving around to the dog's, behavioral, where it's trying to get up on you and trying to move and such.
And the other thing is that there's a towel down. There's a towel down for a very good reason. We don't want the dog's paws to actually go through the grate and hurt itself. You don't want it to rip a nail off. You don't want it to break its paw. You have a lot of different things you want to think about. So you got to put something down to actually, solidify that there's no way of it getting hurt.
Yes, and that's exactly what's going on here. The towel is down, and they can't slip through the little tiny cracks or the little squares that's there, and it's more comfy too. It's a little more cushion on their little teeny tiny itty bitty pads.
Right. He was such a wiggly little thing. Adorable. Absolutely adorable. Oh my gosh. But man, you're pretty much picking him up, putting him back into a spot. He's just kind of going off. Now, the importance about doing this at such a young age, being 9 weeks old, is you want to actually get him used to this.
Yep.
This is actually going to help him so that he doesn't have the stresses that actually can, form over time with different dogs that have never been groomed or late in life groomed. It
is a lot harder to groom a 6-month-old puppy than it is a 9 to, anywhere between 8 to 10 week puppy. They're already sure of their strength and their power at 6 months old. A lot of people are like, no, my dog's too young, they're too small, they can't handle this very well. This really helps them get used to it, and it actually isn't very difficult. Like the puppy sitting, it's like, okay, let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
But so we explained to it that with this massaging and the wand that we use from our proportioner helps take away and gently lift the dead skin that puppies have. Puppies, from when they're born all the way up until they're fully matured, their skin is constantly changing. So those dead skin cells need to be removed to help proper skin grow correctly.
Now, what you're noticing is that I'm washing all of the excess soap away from where the puppy is actually standing, so that when I rinse the dog, I'm not going to just be rinsing the dog and it's standing in soap. That
and
soap is being
on their feet,
and it stays on their feet. No, it's being rinsed off of there so that there's no way of that soap staying on their feet, and then it just becomes, suction to their feet, and then you dry it and it's never washed off. It's washing off at the same time.
You can see me kind of hanging out on the side of my phone, popping up to take a video of it, the video that ended up on Shadowhead's Facebook page.
Yeah, thank you. Little Miss 300 and some plays.
I don't even know what it is now. It's probably more than that. But I love little puppies, and I really wanted to do it myself. But, Chris does the bathing. And
gotta leave the professionals.
I get to do the haircut later. But one thing you also need to realize is that you don't have to have your puppy at 9 weeks old trimmed.
Yeah.
If it just needs a little bit away from their face, that's fine. But getting them used to the situation is so important. This little puppy actually needed to have some hair cut off because the pup did end up having some tangles and knots and such. And it really, really, really needed it.
Yeah, he was oh gosh, he was so cute. It was so hard to actually work because I wanted just to play with them.
And jumping up on you, getting soaking wet.
Oh, I was drenched.
That's just part of the job, you get it on your shoes, you get it on your chest, or the belly for you because you're so tall.
Yeah.
And all over the floor, but that's just stuff you gotta just take in stride and enjoy it. And the more that the groomer enjoys the puppy, the more the puppy will enjoy being there, because again, they can feel what you feel through the leash. They can feel from your hands that it's okay. Once this part's over with, it's nothing but play, enjoying. This particular puppy loved our little crunchy treats.
Yeah.
Loved them and responded to them very well.
Yeah, we actually
oh, now you're going on to the drying part.
Oh, okay, I see what happened there. Yeah, we actually were continuously rewarding this pup. If you notice, right now on the drying, it's on a very low. It's on the lowest setting I could possibly get it. And you can tell it's just barely moving the fur. That way, it doesn't actually get that fear of a dryer.
And you start at the back end first to get them used to it. You don't want to start right at the face.
Oh gosh, please don't.
Yeah, no, that will send them into a panic.
Yeah, you're traumatizing them.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't
especially
want to do that.
This young, you don't want to do that. So starting at the back end is always best, and most of their sensations in their feet, their rump, and their face. So if you can start on the back area, it's the best. And again, he's still in his figure 8 harness, and when you change whatever dryer you need to change in the meantime, one hand is always on them because they are quick and they do not understand perception yet.
Nope. And he's not really going anywhere. He's feeling the comfort. Obviously the little bit of dryer that's hitting his feet, that little sensation, that movement, that makes him go, ooh, I'm going to move. He wasn't really as bouncy as I expected. I expected him to bounce a lot more. Getting him used to this is the important side here. Getting him used to a dryer, the sounds, the feel, all of that is what's important. It's just like playing with a puppy's legs and its paws when they're at such a young age. You want them to be used to it so they're not afraid of it.
Right.
This is the start of where every single dog can develop fear, stress, etc.
And as one thing you don't notice here too is in our new bathing room, it stays a nice temperature. Everybody, when they start getting cold from being outside, the first thing they do is go into our bathing room because it is nice in there, especially when it's really super cold outside. And so the dog isn't cold. As the motor in the dryer heats up, it gives a nice room temperature air, and it helps bring the fluff.
Yeah.
And it just is awesome feeling when you get cold from being outside. You go in, turn on the dryer, and you can warm yourself up with it. It
is a really nice situation. With this pup, as you can tell, he's starting to understand, okay, this isn't going to hurt. You know, obviously, every dog is going to, for the first time, going to wonder, is this going to hurt? They always kind of feel it out. Now that he knows, okay, I've now understood what the bath is, that didn't hurt. Okay, the dry, that doesn't hurt. As you can tell, we're not flinging him around, we're not pulling him around, we're not moving him erratically. He's pretty much, I'm trying to go around him as best as possible so that I don't have, was it her?
It was a her.
Oh, that's right, Mia?
Yeah.
Mia. Yeah.
Maya.
Sorry, it was spelled Mia. No? Mia, Maya. Okay, I'll go with what you say. But as you can tell, in my movement with the pup, you want to actually move him as gentle as possible. I just try to let him use my arm as well as just, you know, almost kind of a jungle gym. Feel like he has the support.
Yeah, what he feels like that he is comfortable with and secure with, and that's basically it. You need to build the pup's confidence. Some
no
dogs,
scruffing. As you can tell, there's no scruffing on this.
No, we lift them up properly and make sure we don't put any pressure on joints and such. A lot of times when dogs come into certain places and they piddle, it's an excited bladder. That happens when a dog gets so happy they just pee. Roxy had that problem for the longest time. Or they get so nervous they then end up tinkling. Well, it's basically confidence. Once the dog's confidence is built up, that stuff slowly stops. And we want to make sure that he is confident with us, and you know, we got to get the job done. It's got to get done for his benefit. If we would stop doing everything the dog doesn't want to be done,
nothing would get done.
Nothing will get done. The dog will be in matted, horrible shape and actually feel a ton of pain. So it's just training them, getting used to it. It's okay, puppy. It's okay.
Well, as you can tell, this is a training process as well.
When you have the pup up like you do now, where you got your hand under their neck and chest and arms, that is a safe way to hold them. You have rather large hands.
Yeah, it helps actually with a puppy right now.
Your whole pup is in your hand. But by doing it that way, it helps make sure that the pressure points aren't being hit, that the everything is distributed properly. Right,
and he was mostly resting for a few seconds there. He was resting in my palm. At this point, he's just like, okay, I'm kind of curious what this is. I was actually expecting him to kind of almost bark or nip at it a little bit, kind of like, you know, like a puppy would. He never did, which I was a little surprised.
Yeah, she was just awesome as a puppy could be. Some pups do end up. We're outside, by the way.
Yeah, well, if you listened to our actual podcast this week, you heard that we actually recorded it outside. So we decided, you know what, let's do our video podcast outside as well.
So, as you start moving from the back end towards the front, you do a little bit in the front, do a little bit on the back, kind of constantly move.
Yeah.
So the dog doesn't get tired of one spot only. And to properly use these dryers, you cannot keep the dryer in one spot the entire time, or you're going to upset the dog. You're going to get one spot super dry and super fluffy, super straight, and the other's kinky curly.
Yeah, and I'm always worried, you know, when it comes to like the head, I only want to go to the occiput, maybe just a little bit more, as you can tell from right here. I'm really more focused on trying to keep it away from the eyes. And with a puppy, it's a little bit harder because their head is so small, you don't really, you know, you don't have a lot of room to maneuver.
And you don't want to leave a dog's face dripping wet either.
That too.
Because that's uncomfortable.
So at this point, as you can tell, the actual blow will go downward, but won't, you know, be direct in the face and won't be a big problem.
What's great about these dryers is the nozzles are actually very controllable on where you want the airflow to go. You can use just the edge of the dryer, that the hair comes out in a cone, or the air comes out in a cone shape. You can have just the edge of it blowing towards the ears, and if you kind of start at the back of their head blowing forward, their face isn't getting the air in it, but yet the hair is separating, the follicles are separating, and the water is starting to dissipate from the head, and it starts drying it that way. And you do the same thing up underneath their chin and their throat area. You come upwards, but still at a downward angle to where it's not going in their face, just kind of blowing their cheek hair up so you can get underneath the ears. Because a lot of people make the mistake when they're washing their dog that too much water gets in the ear canal and starts their infection so soon. And once infection starts, they're so apt to get it again that it becomes chronic. So you got to make sure you don't make sure you take proper precautions to keep the water out of the ear canal. And if you're using a high velocity dryer or a low velocity dryer, you don't push any kind of air inside the ear canal or forcing water in the ear canal.
And that's always a challenge when you come to a small dog. Again, you have small ears now to worry about, so it's a lot to work with. And it's just a matter of what you're looking at. Now you can see the little bit of brown that's actually coming out. That'll be his natural color.
Yeah, he's kind of got the she's got this
brown. I'm sorry, I keep saying he for some reason.
She's got this little bit of a brownness going on her coloring. It is gorgeous.
It is.
She is going to be one beautiful adult Shih Tzu. She is just as sweet as pie. And pups have typical, nervous shake, and they'll get over it once they understand what's going on.
Well, this is the reward process now. You just want to kind of pet them and tell them how great they were, and they did a great job. So that's really Puppy's first groom right there, first bath from my perspective.
Yeah, her groom, she was real good. She had, like I said, some tangles we had to get through she didn't quite like. She let me do what I needed to with her paws. At this young of age, they don't quite know what is going on.
Yeah.
So they kind of let you do it just to get done and over with. They start their fighting at 6 months when they don't have any training whatsoever. But she's on her way to becoming a perfect groom dog.
And it was a lot of fun to give the puppy's first bath. Mm-hmm. All right, so that concludes this week's video podcast. We hope you've enjoyed. I'm Chris Green. Have a pet-tastic week.
And I'm Sarah Green. Make sure everybody realizes life is so short. Play with your pet.
Goodbye, everybody.